Ace is one of the most misunderstood characters in One Piece, who's been memed on nearly as much as the Nah-eyed Wind shenanigans the Jujutsu Kaisen fanbase ran with when they were deprived of a new manga chapter for like a week. I swear, the one with the bunny was just ridiculous, but many people think that Ace sacrificed himself because of a dad joke, many who think he was just a waste of potential and achieved virtually nothing in his career.
Ace is one of the worst anime characters ever. He never accomplished anything in the anime, he only gets folded. He disrespected Whitebeard's sacrifice just because a guy said your dad sucks. Don't say that about my dad! He disrespected Luffy, who like pretty much died like 3 times trying to save this dude. And let's not even talk about his mom, who held her in her womb for like 2 weeks when he was trying to come out to just die anyway.
Now, I do understand the sentiments of this criticism, and in some sense it holds some water, but I think this is a pretty disingenuous argument about his character, and it's one I see a lot. Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with any of Ace's choices or validate his achievements, but if you learn to understand why he behaves the way he does, the picture becomes much more clear. The fact of the matter is, no one really understands just how much Roger's legacy affected Ace growing up, and in many ways, his relation to the King of the Pirates is the root cause of his self-hate. Ace had to live with the burden that his father was basically recognized as the devil incarnate. Roger's influence was unparalleled, to the point the current world only understood 2 eras, the time before Roger and the time after. The Marines and world government despised him, the common people were terrified of his existence, and the most vile pirates respected Roger as a god. And if the masses discovered Ace's roots, there's a good chance they would have persecuted him like they did the Don Quixote family. And so Ace grew up despising his very existence, wondering why a taboo like himself was even born in the first place. But despite all this negativity, self-loathing, and despair, Ace never played the victim, and his heart shined like platinum and gold. He was the type of person who would give food to a starving stranger when he himself had not eaten in weeks, and that itself is a testament to his character. Now, some might see Ace's rebellion and fiery nature as generic traits for a shonen character.
Alright, Ace was not really a good person. Like, I love this character, but bro.
However, the weight of his lineage and the secrecy surrounding his birth play essential roles in shaping his identity, just like his dynamic with Luffy and Sabo did. In his youth, Ace formed a bond of brotherhood with Luffy and Sabo. The trio shared sake together, signifying their relationship as brothers, even if not by blood. Now, this bond is crucial, as their adventures and trials together heavily influenced their paths and goals, and with Sabo allegedly meeting his unfortunate demise after he initially set out to sea, the pain of losing a brother formed an unshakable dynamic between Ace and Luffy, and the undertones of that relationship is manifested with their early encounter in Alabasta, and throughout their actions moving forward in the story. Now, while some might believe that Ace is simply the protective older brother because he's the older brother, the implications are much deeper. Their shared experiences of pain, struggle, and dreams tie them together more than just an age hierarchy. Ace and Luffy were brothers through and through, individuals who understood each other both in emotion and strength. They fight for each other, try for each other, and put their lives on the line for each other.
Since he was a youngin', his biggest thing was he was always gonna stand on business. He's literally the son of the Pirate King. Sabo was pretty reckless himself, and even he used to say Ace is crazy.
Ace's quest for identity is what drove him to become a pirate, to separate his connection from Roger and walk his own path. But since he was perpetually haunted by doubts regarding his existence, he often questioned the circumstances of his birth. This existential doubt is profound and central to Ace's character. It's not just teenage angst or desire for validation, it's a genuine struggle with identity and worthiness. It's probably the most relatable aspect of Ace's character, because many can walk the same mile in his shoes. Ace is a fundamentally human character who makes mistakes and doesn't always make the right decisions and fails. Joining the Whitebeard Pirates was such a grandiose step in Ace's adventure because he found a place grounded in love and acceptance, a place that he could call home.
After disobeying an order from his captain not to go off on his own to try and get revenge, he got himself arrested, but to save him from being executed, his captain and his crew went to war with the military.
In many ways, this is kind of disingenuous. Whitebeard was a father Ace never had, and Ace was willing to lay down his life for him. Now, some might misconstrue this as mere loyalty to a captain, but it's much deeper. It's about finding a place and a family where he felt valued and accepted unconditionally.
I gotta remember, Ace's respect isn't something that's just given away. Whitebeard earned that shit in a million different ways. First off, he took Ace in and treated him like his own son, even though his dad was his op. On top of that, he showed him what it meant to be a man and a family member.
And it makes Ace's pursuit of Blackbeard that much more understandable, because it wasn't just about avenging the betrayal and death of a crewmate, it was also tied to his role as Whitebeard's 2nd Division commander, and the responsibility he felt to uphold the crew's honor. His pursuit might be perceived as driven solely by vengeance or recklessness, but in reality, it's more about respect and following the unspoken rules stated as a pirate. Ace was following his code just like Luffy would, and the outcome isn't his fault, and that's why I find it weird when people go out to blame the entire Marineford war on Ace.
So he watched all of them, including his captain, risk their lives to save him, before he was rescued by his little brother.
It's easy to judge in retrospect because hindsight is 20/20, but no one would have predicted that Blackbeard was masterminding this crazy scheme, especially since he largely went under the radar for 20 years. The ultimate situation isn't Ace's fault, it's simply the result of a world that forces cruel realities on its populace where wars become the only viable solution to achieve freedom and peace.
It literally would have been bad writing for Ace to run away. One, you can call Ace's death dumb, that doesn't make it any less sad. And two, based on the way his character was written, it's the only thing that made sense.
And for me, that's the crux of it. Every decision that Ace made falls completely in line with his character. It would be questionable character writing if he didn't stand up to Akainu.
By refusing to escape and just be rescued because a Marine started saying yo mama jokes. So he stayed to fight. So he got himself killed, his captain had to fight alone so he got killed, and he almost got Luffy killed. Like, they wouldn't have been in this situation if Ace had just ran.
Ace's ideology was no different from Roger or even Whitebeard.
So not only did Ace respect Whitebeard, he looked up to him and modeled his own life after him. We know canonically that Whitebeard never had a scar, scrape, or scratch on his back because he never ran. His two biggest things, family first and never flee.
When someone hoists up their pirate's flag, they defend it, even at the cost of their lives. It's a matter of pride. Ace is more than a box of Krispy Kreme served up by the notorious donut maker. He's a flawed character who struggled with his identity and searched for purpose in his life. And it's all these reasons which is why I believe that Ace is one of the best written characters in One Piece.